assessments. 4 and 5 kuna skill-based assessment, then kuna continuous assessments. Skill-based assessments are not uploaded on the portal ya website ya NEC, where the school normally uploads people wanafanya mtihani, then the results are uploaded on the NEC portal for each learner. And remember, all these learners shall have been given an assessment number in grade 3, and that's where the exam is set. For example, if there are 10 learners in this group, wanatuma 10 example 10 learners per portal. So each assessment number inakuwa mtihani yake, inakuwa una upload kama tu NEC ya KCSE. That's 4 and 5. Then when they move to grade 6 now, the same upper primary, we have KIPSEA now, Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, and of course we also have there's now the summative assessment we're talking about, where this learner shall sit for in grade 6. Of course, again, like we shall see, we have school-based assessments which are uploaded in the NEC portal. We have formative assessments again. By the end of the year, they shall sit for an summative assessment, where a summative assessment that shall be Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, SEA. So ya kwanza, the first NEC exam is the first national examination for this learner. The first exam? Yes. So tumesema hapa mtoto ametoka play group, ameingia group 1, ameingia group 2, amekuja lower primary, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, afanye mtihani. First exam inaitwa first exam anafanya grade 3, end of grade 3, first summative assessment. CARE. It's called CARE. Kenya Early Years Assessment. It's called CARE. And now here, this learner shall sit for an end of year exam, graduation now, upper primary. So at grade 3. Now, at that time, after the recording assessment number, and a song that's up. Akisonga grade 4 and 5 shall have just formative assessments, school-based assessments, and all that. In grade 6 now, this learner, as he or she shall be moving to the junior secondary, shall now sit for the summative assessment called Kenya Primary School Assessment. SEA. This is a second national examination this learner is sitting for. Remember, tumesema ataingia PP1 akiwa 4 years. This learner shall move to PP2 with 5 years. Then now from PP2 atasonga kwa the lower primary. Grade 1, 6 years. Grade 2, 7 years. Grade 3, 8 years. Anafanya mtihani, anapewa assessment number. Anafanya Kenya Early Years Assessment. Then now from there, this learner at 8 years anasonga upper primary. That's now 9 years. Grade 4. 10 years, grade 5 is assumed to be 10 years. Then grade 6 sasa hapo 11 years anafanya KIPSEA. The same assessment number. Of course, in grade 6 we shall have some formative assessments again, projects like what Mr. Morita and Madam Varia are doing the grade 7s. Kuna projects watafanya, kuna written tests, practical activities, teacher-made tests. They go to normally offer these learners initial exam, interim exam, and all that. But at the end of the year, this learner shall sit for Kenya Primary School All Education Assessment, KIPSEA. Then now, from grade 6, and this is how marks are distributed in grade 6. 60% school-based assessment and 40% national summative assessment, KIPSEA. This 60% school-based assessment, tumesema, it's not uploaded on the NEC portal. So the school downloads, inafanya mtihani, it's normally supervised by the school, by the teacher, it's marked. The marks are uploaded on the school, on the portal, NEC portal, then inaenda. So your marks yote from grade 4, 5, and now grade 6 shall carry 60%. And then the KIPSEA we're talking about shall now carry 40%, cumulatively coming to 100%. So huyu mwanafunzi already ametoka sasa anafika grade 6 anasoma grade 7. Sasa grade 7 sasa amemalizana primary. Remember primary is divided into early years, where lower primary, and of course now upper, lower primary, upper primary. 6 ishia afanye msea. And from there, now this learner moves to the junior secondary.
Good morning.
Good morning. Karibu sana. Yeah, so atakuwa amesonga junior secondary after grade 6. Now, you can pause and pause this question. You have said, I want to pause and pause this question. And pause. I want to pause and pause this question. We have identified three people to help us distinguish between learning as learning, assessment for learning, assessment of learning. Remember, we have two types that Nanenzia has distinguished for us. Kuna formative assessment, then summative assessment. Summative tumesema at the end of the period, say a term or whatever. But formative is as learning is going on. Now, Okelo was off. Wasa alikuwa 4. Madam Sadia alikuwa off. Yeah, us. So help us distinguish these three. Learning as learning, learning for learning, learning, assessment of learning.
So of learning happens after the end of the learning has taken place. And the learning has occurred. You learn now, of learning now, you assess what you have learned. If you have learned, you have really learned what you have taught. So we have discussed.
That's assessment of learning. Of learning.
Yes. After the end of the learning.
At the end of the learning.
Yes.
At the end of the learning, is it at the end of the term?
At the end of the term. Yes.
Which means it shows like is a summative. Assessment of learning. So what's one?
Assessment for learning is a formative assessment whereby the teacher and the learners tries to pick out a specific aspect. Then they do research, they gather information, and now after gathering the information, they come together, discuss the information, try to interpret, to find out the clear evidence of what they have.
That's assessment
For learning.
for learning. Where a teacher asks questions in class, and learners start to give answers. That is for learning. Yeah. Where you say 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1, anybody is 3. Yes, that's correct. That's now for learning. Then of learning is what Mr. Okela says is summative. Summative, where we teach and then we get a quiz. And we teach and then we end of term exam. That is of learning. But then we study assessment as learning.
I thought assessment as learning is the question you give in between the lessons, the end of the lesson, or what you learned previous. As you learn, you give assessment.
As we learn, we give assessment.
Or whatever was in there. At first I thought it was whatever was saying by Mr. Waswa. That is what I thought it's assessment as learning.
As learning.
As you teach, you ask questions.
I can give you ME, meeting expectations. Or approaching expectations 1. Madam Samada settled down. Benson. As learning. Assessment as learning.
I think for assessment as learning is where now the students are researching on a specific thing, and as you are assessing them, they are also learning a particular skill. For example, you are telling the students to compose a song and now present. As they are composing a song, yes, you are assessing them and giving marks, but they are also learning a skill of composing, and also learning maybe a skill of dancing. They are also learning.
I think, in my opinion, I can say assessment as learning. It's now between the student. It's the student trying to assess themselves, or the peer assessment. In my own understanding, I don't think assessment as learning has anything to do with the teacher. It's about the student.
Yeah, both of you are correct. It's about the student, where they are trying to assess themselves. And that can even happen when you group them in, say, groups of 2 to discuss and come up with this and this. So as they are communicating and collaborating, they are also learning and assessing themselves. Are you able to present on this issue? Shall you really, okay, what shall you say when you ask this and this and this? Tasema hii na hii na hii. Unajua vizuri, osmosis has 2 examples, photosynthesis has 2 stages. Kuna stage 1, inaitwa aje? Dark stage, kama light stage, kama medium stage, kitu kama hivi. So as they do so, they are learning. So that is assessment as learning. For learning, tunasema unauliza maswali kwa darasa. Si maswali ya are we together? Are we together? Hiyo si for learning. Watasema tu yes. Then class kisha mtu atasema what I can remember is are we together? Peke yake. So utauliza swali. We have said photosynthesis has 2 stages. How many stages? 2 stages. You can remind us one of the stages, dark stage. That is now assessment for learning. Then for learning is summative, what Mr. Kello has said. Now we proceed. This learner has now joined junior secondary. He or she is starting junior secondary education. We have 3 levels, grade 7, 8, and 9. What happens in grade 7 and 8? Now, that's where we are now as a new era. We have school-based assessments, then continuous assessment. School-based assessments, I'm going to understand, shall begin very soon. This next month, and of course, July also. And for grade 10, they may spill even to part of term 3, where, like I said, the exams will be uploaded through the portal, and send the portal. School downloads, put an apanya, and upload marks. So that's school-based. Then continuous assessment is now what we normally do, end term, mid-term, and continuous assessment. So school-based assessment, formative. Continuous assessment, it of course the summative assessment for 7 and 8. Still, we have projects that we normally carry out. Some of them, of course, like I've said, it's as 7. Madam Analyza the same, Madam Fire the same, 7 and 8, and even 9 will also have some projects. Now, if you look at grade 9, what happens? They sit for Kenya Junior Secondary Education Assessment. That's a summative assessment for these learners in grade 9. As they are in grade 9, they are doing some practicals, projects, theory tests, portfolio, oral presentations. Like what you normally do here, you present. After group discussion, you present. That's called presentations. Then I figure grade 9 and I find PPSEA. What happens in a junior secondary? 20% PPSEA. And part of PPSEA, when you 20% of that for those marks, plus 20% school-based assessments, 7 and 8, plus 60% PPSEA. So for projects nafanyika 7 and 8 peke yake, then itachukua 20%. The 20% of what this learner scored. For example, if this learner scored meeting expectations, and say meeting expectations is 60%, and quarter marks 60, but it should 20% of 60. So 20 over 60, 20 over 100 of 60. Hii ni 12. Shangani wa 20 marks. 12 marks. Say 12 marks ndio watachukua. Kuna 20% school based assessments. Hizo ni tutaanza kufanya sasa next month na naomba mwezi napata ile ya upload kwa net portal. Tulikuwa 20%. Kama tumempea amepata amepata 90. Kwa hizo projects tutachukua 20% of 90. So 20 of 90 itakuwa these are 18 marks. So kumbuka akona 12 marks akikosea ongeza 18. Hiyo already akona 30%. Then now 60% kijisea. So akifanya kijisea at grade 9 tunaongeza. Tuseme kijisea amepata 80. Sisi ndio 80 over 100. I mean, itakuwa 60 over 100 is 80. We shall give us a tufanye tu 60 over 100 kwa mama. Okay. 24 over 48. Walimu wa maths wa 48. Sawa, 48. Walimu ametusaidia hapa. Ongeza kwa 30 ili 78. So huyu mwanafunzi akiingia grade 10 senior school ataingia na 78. Si 78 ndio walikuwa wanatumia kumweka kwa pathways. Sema sasa hii 78 ni meeting expectations 1 ama exiting expectations 2. So this one qualifies to either take STEM pathway ama social sciences pathway ama sports and ama arts and sports science pathway. So walikuwa wanatumia hizi sasa. Kama wanafunzi wanatumia hii marks kwani place qualify. So this learner shall now move to senior school. Amemaliza na junior school. So anasonga senior school. Senior school we have 3 levels. Grade 10, 11 and 12. We are assuming our learner has 78 has joined grade 10. So here we have now pathways. The STEM pathway, social science pathway, arts and sports science pathway. Nachagua moja. We have under grade 10, 11 and 12, learners assessed through coursework, site projects, practical work, internships. Where internships is where mtoto akifika grade 11 na grade 12 anaenda internship just like in colleges, especially those who are taking technical courses kama woodwork, aviation, building and construction, those electricity, vitu kama hizo ama engineering courses anaenda internship. From there, like I said, this learner can now go to the world of employment, other job directly. But akimaliza hivyo at grade 12 una national assessment ile ya summative tena where atamaliza apewe KCB, Kenya Basic Kenya Certificate of Basic KCBE. So these are the assessments that this learner have taken through kuanzia PP1 mpaka grade 12. Kuna classroom assessment inafanywa na walimu, ile learning for learning, learning kama hiyo. Kuna formative, ile school based and all that. Then we have school based, kuna summative, practicals, oral, portfolio, then observation assessment. Remember observation kama ile anecdotal records where you observe a learner then you record. But even now give a learner out a certificate, kama give certificate, kama vile based on attack kupatia tu what ni certificate ya ICT. Akimaliza hivyo kwa certificate sehemu ya observation assessment. Naangalia can he or she type, can he present to kama ile kumpatia certificate. That's all about the levels and their technical assessment. Thank you for listening. My presentation is done. I welcome any question from my good listeners. Any question?
Assessment outside class.
Yes.
Where we are observing and monitoring. How do we classify and which kind of assessment?
Outside the classroom. How do you classify that kind of assessment? Faria, hapo saidie. Example, umeenda PE, juzi nilikuona unarukaruka na watoto huko. Unaona unarusha mpira, anashika vizuri, anakimbia na kama ni wale wanafanya vizuri, you observe. And this learner is in grade 7 ama grade 9. Na maybe unaona vizuri mtoto akienda hivyo, anaweza the pathway nzuri yake is sports. So how do you classify that assessment before you now advise the parent?
You could just use the points of when you're using rubrics. That's why you have those particular assessment books that each activity. So when maybe we are talking about football or volleyball, when she can rub the ball well, you know that maybe that's the exceeding. If maybe she doesn't do it or she tries, she attempts, you can give her maybe that's approaching. Then at the end, the whole activity, maybe trapping, cooking and everything, you collect them together, then finalize at the end. You know that this particular learner, the average is approaching, so maybe she doesn't fit well. And we have another one, from everything and the rules, she does well. You find that maybe she's scoring that 4 points, that's the exceeding. So you know that this one is perfect in this particular activity. This one can try, but it's not her choice, or it's not her area.
So okay, then how do where do we classify that assessment? Is it anecdotal records, or because it's a summative assessment? How do we record? Which kind of assessment? How do we record?
The rubric.
I think you classify it under rubrics because under anecdotal records, most of the time it is not purposeful. But in rubric, it is purposeful. You can see as you are saying, maybe you have taken the students outside, and at that time you are observing again. But in anecdotal records, you will not. It is just not intentional. It's just something that comes out without expecting. You just you can observe without expecting. So you record under rubrics.
We shall know much more about rubrics when the presenter shall be here. So mliweza kufikia hapo jua tu tuko under rubrics. Hebu nangoje hiyo rubrics sasa. Okay, thank you. Any other question before we invite the next presenter that can take us through maybe briefly, then we break for tea, then we come the last presenters will malizia. Any other question?
The similar should they be related with so even number of position 1, position 2.
They will not be ranked actually. They will not be ranked. Although now some schools do it, most of the schools do it internally kama sisi kwa sababu how shall you encourage them if you don't appreciate who has scored the highest marks? So that at least now, much as we are nurturing the potential of every learner, and we are saying, actually the CBC mantle is actually about nurturing every learner's potential, and we acknowledge every learner's potential. But now you see, much as we are doing so, we also need to appreciate those who are now doing what? Exceeding the expectations. For example, we want somebody to prepare a chair, but this learner has prepared a chair. Ametafuta inaitwaje hiyo ya kusmooth hiyo karatasi sandpaper na ametengeneza vizuri, imetokea very smooth. Unasema wow, okay, I wanted just a chair, but this learner has now even exceeded my expectations. And now as a school also need to reward. So inafika mahali unakuwa tempted na rank sasa, but hiyo ni kienyeji internal, but all learners across the country are not ranked. Wanasema tu watoto wamepita, wewe huyu una qualify. That's why kuna these 3 pathways. Huyu kulingana tumemuona hii kijisea yake ako na 70. Anaweza qualify pathway ya STEM. So under STEM kuna hizo 5 learning areas, kuna 4 learning areas, the compulsory, the zingine 3. So under STEM ataanza 3 naweza fanya gani naweza nataka, because we look at the passion, the performance na intention ya mwanafunzi. Okay, so thank you very much for your listening. I hereby welcome the next presenters, who shall be Mr. Wasa's group. Then kuwapata baadaye. Sahii amefika, sahii ana warm up kidogo. Thank you very much. Mr. Waso and your group, much welcome.